You better sleep with one eye open because I'm coming for you. You're on my blacklist. What you did was unfair. You need to pay for it. I watched season 1 of Squid Game all over so you don't have to. You're welcome. Grab a snack, a cup of tea or coffee, whichever you prefer, and let's dive in. Our story begins with Sung Ki-hoon, who is basically a walking definition of rock bottom. He's unemployed, drowning in debt, and still stealing money from his mom to bet on horse races. This doesn't go well. If there was a human representation of bad decisions, it would be Gi-hoon because he loses all the money he won from betting to a pickpocketer who will later meet in the story while he was running from loan sharks. My guy is not having a good day, honestly. After being chased down and humiliated by loan sharks, Ki-hoon is left with nothing and has to figure out how to get his daughter a birthday gift. He eventually gets some money and he gets something from those claw machines where you have like teddy bears and stuff, but it was in an enclosed box and he didn't think to open the box first before he gives it to his daughter. So gives his daughter the gift and it ends up being a lighter that is shaped like a toy gun. Classic Gi-hoon. His day takes an even weirder turn when he meets a mysterious, overly cheerful man at the subway. The man offers Gi-hoon a chance to play takchi, which is a Korean game where you try to flip your opponent's folded origami paper towel by slamming it with your own. So the rule of the game is that if Gi-hoon wins a round, then he gets 100,000 won in cash. It sounds simple, right? Except there's a twist. Every time Gi-hoon loses, the man will slap him across the face hard. It's like the universe took all of Gi-hoon's bad decisions and turned them into a game because let me tell you, these slaps, they aren't just painful, they are symbolic. Each one screams, "This is your rock bottom, buddy." But what's wild is that Gi-hoon keeps on going. Why? Because he's desperate for that cash prize. He wants that money. When Gi-hoon finally wins a round, he doesn't just get money, he gets a golden card inviting him to the Squid Game. And this is where the story really begins. The man walks away with a cryptic smile, leaving us and Gi-hoon wondering, what did he just sign up for? I guess we'll find out though. We'll find out. In episode 2, Gi-hoon and 455 other contestants wake up in a giant dormitory with bunk beds piled higher than my college GPA because why is it so high? Why do you need staircase for bunk beds? It's really puzzling why there's that much people, but I get it. 456 people is a lot. Everyone there is broke, desperate, and they're wearing matching tracksuits. Honestly, it's giving gym class vibes. Next, we see the workers that are in red suits and they have peculiar masks on with different shapes on them. And the shapes symbolize their ranks. The highest rank is the square, the middle rank is the triangle, and the lowest rank is the circle. One of the workers tells them the rules of the game just before the games begun, and the first game is red light, green light. It sounds innocent, right? You're wrong, because in this version, if you move during red light, you're not just out of the game, you're out of life permanently, like you're done. By the time the contestants realized the stakes of the game, it was too late to withdraw and they had to see it through to the end. The chaos that followed was pure carnage. Players screamed, ran, and were picked off like flies. It was brutal and it sets the tone for just how deadly these games were. It's not being so. Somehow, Gi-hoon makes it through. Is it luck? Is it fate? Or is it just desperation? Either way, he's in, but the games have only just begun. After the first game, everyone who survived was in shock. They wanted out and began to beg for their lives. They were like, please let us out. We'll pay whatever we owe. Just let us go home. They were begging like on their knees. They eventually got the chance to cast a vote though, to decide if they'll be all allowed to go back to their lives, how they were poor and in debt, or if they would keep on playing the games. And did I mention that there were a total of 6 games? like 6 of these deadly games. Yeah, 6. Before the voting started, a huge piggy bank descended from the sky and a lot of money was dropped into that piggy bank. Ask me how much. 25.5 billion won. Yes, now that's a lot of money. Out of 456 contestants, 255 people were dead from the first game, and for each dead contestant, 100 million won was dropped into the piggy bank. That's crazy. Imagine your life is only worth 100 million won. Yikes. Anyway, this incentive impacted the contestants' choices when they were voting because some chose yes to leave the game and some chose no. Contestant 1, he had the tie-breaking vote and his votes got them out of the game and back to their old reality. Gi-hoon, our guy, he went straight to the police station to report the incident, but of course, the officers did not believe his story. I wouldn't either because if I were in their shoes, the story sounds too absurd to believe, so I get it. But as you can imagine, life didn't treat the contestants well while they were returned to their daily routines. They were invited once more to join the game, and many of them decided to finish what they started. What more did they have to lose, right? Well, except their lives, of course. Yeah, they all make bad choices in this drama. I don't know why they're all making bad choices. Next, we meet Detective Wang Chun-woo, who believes that his missing brother is participating in the Squid Game, and he goes undercover, taking the identities of one of the workers to find his brother. He becomes a very important character later, so keep that in mind. By episode 3, people are realizing that they can't do this alone. Alliances start getting formed. Ki-hoon is in a group with Sang-woo, who is his childhood friend and is a quite shady person. We'll talk more about him later. And then there's Ali, who is a Pakistani immigrant who came to Korea to work. And then there's Saebyok, who is our resident badass. She's also the pickpocketer who stole Ki-hoon's money. It's funny how they met again in the Squid Game and they are now in an alliance together. But Saebyok, she trusts no one, and honestly, I'll trust her judgment over anyone else in this game. And the last person in this group was contestant 1, who we later learned that his name is Il-nam. Keep that in mind too, because he becomes a very important person later too. I won't spoil it just yet. Next up is the honeycomb game. Contestants must carve out shapes from a dalgona candy with just a needle, and they have 10 minutes to complete it. The shapes are circle, triangle, star, or umbrella. It seems easy, right? Please, no, it's definitely not easy because the candy is very sturdy, and the rules are if your candy breaks, you're out. And if you run out of time, you're also out. I don't think I'll be as desperate as this for money, and I don't want to ever get to that point because what exactly is this game? And of course, Ki-hoon, he picks the hardest shape there, the umbrella. Good luck, Ki-hoon, because you need lots of luck. While everyone else was carefully carving with their needle, Ki-hoon discovers that there's an alternative way to carve out a shape. So Ki-hoon starts licking his candy aggressively, like his life depended on it, because it honestly did at that time. And he was running out of time, he was running out of choices. Surprisingly, it works and he makes it to the next round. Kudos, Ki-hoon. I'm rooting for you. Anyway, the red suits, they finish up the players who didn't finish the Dalgona challenge for the 10 minutes countdown. And then we see a rogue contestant who gets both himself and one of the workers with the square-shaped mask gunned down. The person who gunned them down, though, is the front man. He's basically the boss of the red suits. Yeah, they have a boss, and his mask is also different. It's giving money heist. Anyway, we see that Detective Jung-hoo picks up the square-shaped mask. He's definitely got a plan, but I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is yet. In episode 4, Ki-hoon's squad solidifies as they realize teamwork is the only way to survive, especially when they are thrown into a classic childhood game of tug of war. But of course, this isn't your school field day version. No, it's not the one you played as a child. If you lose, you fall to your death. You're done. Ilnam suddenly becomes a tug of war strategist. His plan for them to win was to lean back, hold steady, and wait for the opposing team to panic and lose momentum so that they have a chance at winning. The tension here is unbearable. Watching Gihun's team almost fall off the platform had me on my toes. But against all odds, they won. This scene is a reminder that brains can beat brawn in the most unexpected ways. By episode 5, the cracks in the alliances start to show, especially with Sangho. He begins showing his true colors. That nice guy act was down the drain and he's turning into a full-blown villain. Detective Jung-ho somehow gets involved with a group of workers who take out organs from the dead contestants and sell them. This is outside the game actually, so they're doing this illegally, as if the game is not illegal. And they're doing this with the help of one of the contestants who happens to be a doctor, of course. The deal was that he has to help them to harvest the organs in exchange for the workers telling him what the next game is to kind of increase his chances of winning, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to the detective. Apparently, the worker that he stole the identity of was one of the divers who delivered the organs to whoever they delivered it to. So he had to play along to survive. He was eventually found out by the co-diver, and the detective shot the co-diver after getting some intel that would help him with this investigation to find his brother. We're now in episode 6. Episode 6 is where Squid Game truly breaks us. Now, before we jump into episode 6, if you've been liking this story so far, don't forget to hit that like button right now and hit that subscribe button. It's free. Anyway, the contestants are told to pair up, thinking that they will work together, but they had to compete against each other and only one can survive. This Squid Game had me in my emotions, really. Let's start with Gihun and Ilnam. Watching Gihun manipulate the old man, who we thought was senile, is very heartbreaking. But the moment Ilnam smiles and says, "I let you win," it's game over for our emotions. We all cried. Anyway, we go to Sangho. Sangho and Ali were paired up, and sweet, trusting Ali puts all of his faith in Sangho. And what does he do? He tricks him. Watching Ali realize that he's been betrayed is one of the most painful moments in this series. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Sangho, you better sleep with one eye open because I'm coming for you. You're on my blacklist. What you did was unfair. You need to pay for it. And then, finally, we have Sebyok. She and her partner share heartbreaking backstories, and it's a very rare moment of connection in the series, full of brutality. In the end, only one can survive, and Sebyok wins by default. It's bittersweet, and it stays with you long after the episode ends. Episode 6 was just so painful, but we move on. Now we're on episode 7. Episode 7 introduces us to the VIPs. Picture this, a group of rich, bored elites wearing ridiculous animal masks, betting on human lives. Honestly, they're so over the top that they make Gihun's death look relatable.
Oh, I bet on player 101 because he looks strong.
Like, sir, excuse me, sir. Are you even watching the game? The lack of empathy here is off the charts. Why would you just be betting on human lives like they're animals? And now, we've come to the next game. The next game is Glass Bridge. Contestants must cross a long bridge, stepping on tempered glass panels while avoiding regular glass that shatters under their weight. It's a deadly guessing game where every step could be your last step. The tension is insane, and watching the players debate their every move while the clock ticks down is pure anxiety. And then there's Doksu. We never talked about Doksu, did we? He proves during this game that he's not just a bully, but he's also a coward because he refuses to move until he was literally pushed to his death. Bye bye, Doksu. You will not be missed. Sorry, we did not miss you. Bye. Anyway, we see player 17, who is a glass maker. He steps up and uses his skills to help. But, of course, in true Squid Game fashion, the game isn't fair. The lights are dimmed to make his expertise useless. Because why not just add insult to injury, right? They're very good at that. They've been doing that all through the games, so why not? By the end, only our trio, Jihoon, Sangwoo, and Sebyok make it across, but not without injuries. The shattered glass leaves Sebyok with a devastating wound, setting the stage for even more heartbreak. In episode 8, the final 3 contestants are treated to a luxurious dinner, steak, candles, knives. It's basically a romantic date but with murder vibes. Sebyok is seriously injured and you can feel the tension. She's trying so hard to hide that she's injured. So she's struggling to do that. And watching her suffer in silence is heartbreaking, especially when Jihoon tries to help her. And then, guess what happened? Sangwoo strikes again. Sangwoo decides to solve the problem by killing her in her sleep. It's the audacity for me. Jihoon was devastated. He's lost another ally, another friend, and now it's just him and Sangwoo heading to the final game. The final game. Oh, this final game is the actual Squid Game itself, and it's a callback to Gi-hoon's childhood because he used to play it as a child too. But this isn't just a game as usual. It's a brutal showdown. Gi-hoon and Sangwoo face off in a battle of strength, wit, and sheer desperation. It's raw, it's messy, and it's emotionally exhausting. Gi-hoon has a chance to win, but instead of delivering the final blow, he tries to end the game on his own terms, choosing humanity over bloodshed. But you know what? Sangwoo, he has just gone too far at this point. He takes his own life, leaving Gi-hoon as the sole survivor. And guess what that means? He won the money. Basically, he won the whole thing. He won a lot of money. It's a bittersweet victory and it feels more like a loss. Gi-hoon returns home only to find that his money doesn't bring happiness. His mother had passed away and he's left with the trauma of everything that he's endured. And then here's the plot twist. Ilnam. Remember Ilnam? The sweet old man, the one that Gi-hoon played the marbles game with? He's revealed to be the mastermind behind the Squid Game. Dun dun dun! He created it all because apparently when you're rich and bored, betting on human lives is the ultimate thrill. Fun! Also, we find that John-O's missing brother was revealed to be the front man who was in charge of the red suits. That was his brother that was missing. Anyway, John-O eventually gets shot by his own brother and he falls to his own death. Or did he? I didn't see the bodies, so maybe he's alive somewhere. He got shot in the shoulder, so he could be alive. And maybe he's gonna show up in season 2. I'm just making speculations here. Ilnam also dies, leaving Gi-hoon with a choice to stay silent or to fight back. And judging by the ending of season 1, Gi-hoon is ready to take on the system. He wants to get to the nitty-gritty of everything in the Squid Game. So, with season 2 dropping, what are your expectations? Are you excited? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more. Until next time, annyeong!